Ford Motor Company just canceled 100,000 trucks in the fourth quarter of 2025 alone. This is a massive issue, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. It's all because of a fire at one of Ford's suppliers.
26 departments responded to the overnight fire, remaining on scene for almost 12 hours.
Tonight, automakers are figuring out how to keep up with demand and how much it will cost and be passed on to consumers.
Now, in this video, we're going to tell you everything that you need to know while also showing you this, one of the surviving F-150s for 2025, this TC Customs Ford F-150. And I'm so proud to be a Ford dealer ×2. We've got 2 locations in Alabama because Ford Motor Company is the most American auto manufacturer out there, meaning that nobody produces more vehicles in America than Ford Motor Company. Now, the unfortunate side of that is sometimes you can't get all of your parts from the United States, but sometimes you can. And Ford Motor Company has these sheet metals. This is a military-grade aluminum alloy body, and Ford Motor Company gets all of its metal from mostly one source. All of the aluminum body panels come from a supplier up north in the United States. I think it's in New York, somewhere in that general area. But unfortunately, the line where they actually produce those sheet panels actually caught on fire. And since most of those aluminum panels are made out of that distributor, it's going to cause a massive issue as far as vehicles are concerned. Now, what does that mean as far as F-150s and things like that are concerned? Because keep in mind, the F-150 is an aluminum bodied truck. You have got the F-250 is an aluminum bodied truck. You have the Expedition is also made out of aluminum. And then you have almost every vehicle that Ford produces has aluminum body panels, maybe not completely, but for the most part, every single vehicle has got some level of aluminum body panels in it. Explorer, Bronco, you name it. So this has got a massive effect on Ford Motor Company because if they want to have these aluminum body panels made elsewhere, they're going to have them shipped in, and they might get subjected to a tariff. And we all know that these trucks are already as expensive as they need to be. They don't need to be any higher than they currently are. But I will say, getting back to the trucks themselves, what has Ford Motor Company done? Well, they have canceled right at about 100,000 trucks, according to the news sources I can find online, because of this supplier issue, this supply chain issue. And the good news is Ford has got a game plan to try and redistribute and kind of catch back up through the 2026 model year. But unfortunately, we had, my goodness, probably close to 100 2025 model F-150s canceled for production. What does that even mean? Well, when Ford Motor Company, when you go in and you say, hey, Town & Country Ford in Bessemer, Alabama, I want to order one of these F-150 regular cabs. Here's all the options I want, submit the order. Then Ford Motor Company will go out, they'll schedule that vehicle for production, they assign it a VIN number, they assign it a build date, and it is almost always going to be built somewhere around that build date. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen Ford cancel production once the vehicle's already scheduled for production, it's got a build date, it's got a VIN number. I count on one hand the times that they've canceled those. One time was with COVID, and 3 times is related to this aluminum shortage. And so that out of 26 years, Ford's got a pretty good track record of not canceling orders, but today we're sitting in a very, very strange situation. Now, the good news is they've already started scheduling 2026s, and they're trying to give dealers extra allocation, catch-up allocation, if you will, to take care of that. But I thought it would be so much fun to show you a surviving F-150 for 2025, because at the end of the day, you know, we had about 100 of these things scheduled for production for our customers, and almost every one of them got canceled. But somehow this one did not. And a good customer of ours actually bought this one and had it customized. And he's asked, hey man, is there any way you could do a video on our truck? And I was like, absolutely I can. But you may not, you may not realize exactly what we're going to talk about, and that is the fires. But let's do this. Let's jump into the truck itself and kind of tell you a little bit about what TC Customs, our custom shop, has done to this vehicle to make it so unique. Now, obviously, we have got this 5.0 V8 is the way that we've ordered these trucks from the factory. And what we've done is we've added a Roush Supercharger to it for 705 horsepower. Now, the cool part about the Roush Supercharger is their warranty. Now, everybody claims to have a warranty, but if you go through and read the fine print on every one of those warranties, you'll see why we have chosen to step up and step up in a big way with Roush Performance and Roush Superchargers, because at the end of the day, every time we've ever had an issue with them, they have done above and beyond anytime there's an issue. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a company that can step up and say, you know what, I've got that customer's back anytime there is an issue. So make sure that before you choose a supercharger, compare the actual warranty side by side. It might shock you if you do that. But once again, we are one of the largest, if not the largest, Roush Supercharger installer in the entire world. Right now we're on pace to do that, and it just all depends on how many more trucks and how many more trucks we're able to supercharge before the end of the year. But very, very proud of that. In addition to the supercharger, we had to find a way to make this thing look right, because at the end of the day, you start adding 705 horsepower to a truck that looks like it's a four-wheel drive, because it is, then it's gonna handle a little funky. So what did we do? We added the RideTech 3 5.5-inch drop. So there's a 3-inch drop in the front and a 5.5-inch drop in the rear. In my opinion, I think that with these wheels, the tires, and the suspension, this is one of the best stanced vehicles we've built out of TC Customs. Now, how did we get that and the right poke? Well, we've got a set of Vossen wheels, and I love this style. There's a lot of different Vossen styles out there. This might actually have to be one of my favorite. I don't know why this is not the #1 seller. We do sell a lot of Vossens, but quite frankly, we actually sell more of this wheel than we do of this one. So let me know down in the comments, which Vossen wheel do you like better? I actually kind of like this one a little bit better, because once again, especially on a carbonized gray truck, the wheel actually matches the color of the truck spot on. And speaking of the color of the truck, take a look at the paintwork we got on this thing. Now, what we did at TC Customs, we sanded the front bumper, because you may not realize these work trucks, they come standard with a matte black front painted bumper, and they come with a texturized front grille. And what we did is we actually sanded this down and painted it to match the rest of the truck to make it look more premium, more high end. But not only did we do the grille surround, not only did we do the front bumper, but we also did these mirror caps. And a fun fact for you, so many people that try and paint these mirror caps don't realize there's an extra step you have to do. You need to paint them twice if you want them to come out right. And this is the reason that I'm so proud to be associated with TC Customs, because we do the right things to make sure that it looks right. Not only did we do the paint in the front, not only did we do this, but we also painted the rear bumper as well. To me, I think it all turned out really, really well. But my favorite modification and added the most horsepower to it is the TC Customs badge in either side of the fender.
This truck is like a mullet, and I'm talking a good mullet. It's all business in the front and it's party in the back. Let me show you why. Take a look at the MBRP exhaust system. I think this thing sounds fantastic. When you get on it, it actually sounds like a demon just screaming at you. I think it sounds fantastic. But the other reason this is a whole lot of party in the rear is because of the suspension system. Now, we talked about what we had up front, which was, you know, the coilover system and, you know, everything needed to drop at 3 inches in the front. But what you don't realize is this one has got the upgraded traction bars built into it as well. What in the world is that? Well, the traction bars are designed to keep the axle from wrapping when you subdue it to a 705 horsepower. Sometimes you get all that torque, the axle can wrap back and forth, basically twist, and that's what causes wheel hop, and it ain't good. But this system has got those traction bars built out for you, and it feels a lot more responsive because everything's not twisting and turning. It's like the whole chassis feels a little bit stiffer because of it. I actually think that it drives fantastic. It's actually noticeable if you've gotten in a bunch of these trucks like I have and driven them back to back. There is a pretty big difference. Now, this truck is a 4-wheel drive, but we did the 4-wheel drive delete, which I think makes it look a lot cleaner. But why in the world would you want a 4-wheel drive regular cab truck and you're gonna lower it? Well, most people don't realize these trucks are fantastic for launching in 4 high. Now, you got to be very careful when you do that, because you can grenade a transfer case if you're not careful. And if you do that, it may or may not be covered under Roush's warranty. So this is not me advice on how to do this, but I've seen it many, many times where people in a dead straight line, you can't turn, you could put it in 4 high. And when you do that, you'd want to lock the rear differential as well, turn the traction control off,
and you want to floor it all the way down. That way you've got the front tires pulling as well as the back tires. It keeps you from doing a 300-yard burnout is basically what it boils down to. Now, that's why you would definitely want to consider a 4-wheel drive versus a 2-wheel drive. Now, if you're not going to be doing launches from a dig, then you might not need a 2-wheel drive. But the fact that we've got traction bars on this tells me the customer that bought this truck is probably going to have a little bit of party out back. That's why I call this truck the Mullet. Now, a little bit more about the backside of the vehicle. You've got your TC Customs bed cover back here, which is really nice. It's a roll and lock variant with the TC Customs emblem on the back. And as you can see, this is really where the party in the back is coming from. I bet you didn't expect this. Take a look at this. We've got the bed rug in the back of the truck. Dude, how clean is this? These things are not the easiest to get right because you've got things like the storage compartments on either side. You need to make sure everything's cut out and make sure everything's installed right. And to do it right, it does take a little bit of effort, especially if you're gonna put the bed cover on top of this. But I mean, you could camp out in the back of this thing. It's literally that nice. Or just turn it into a show truck. But I think this is such a slick little setup in the back. And it's something you don't see all that often on our channel. The other thing that I love in the back of the vehicle is the TC Customs emblem that comes with every one of these. By the way, if you've bought a TC Customs truck before we had these and before we had those in the front, if you want to, feel free to hit us up. Customer service at tccustoms.com. We'll be happy to ship one of those to you 100% free. It's our way of saying thank you for buying your custom truck from TC Customs. So yeah, cool stuff there. And you can see also where we have color matched the rear bumper in the back as well. So let me know, what do you think down below, and what are you thinking as far as 26? Because the good news is we've already got some 26 models scheduled for production. So if you want to pick up one of those or want to order one of those, you can do it at invoice pricing. It's one of the reasons this whole program has been so dadgum successful, is because we're not gouging people like some of the people in the market are doing. We're honoring invoice pricing on every one of these trucks if you order it from us. So hit us up. The phone number's right there on the screen, and we would love to help you out. Or even better yet, check out our brand new online configurator, our build-in price on tccustoms.com. You could go to tccustoms.com and just click on the link up at the top, or just go to f150sleeper.com. Thanks so much for watching this video, and have a great day. Peace. I'm not kidding. I could take a nap in this. Should I be nervous y'all are gonna lock me in here and not let me out? Yeah, okay, y'all passed the test. You really could have locked me in here and not let me out until I said, pay my bonus.